Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Zareth Walks in the Mud. I'm actually on the cement right now, but we've gotten a lot of rain recently and it's pretty rainy out here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, we just recently got this update, pretty small update, but also pretty big implications. Like CG is pushing Conquest back a week. No explanation. They're just like, hey, it's going to be during the start of, let's say, territory battles now. And, frankly, I mean, it's pretty well documented, my disdain for Conquest. I don't love it. I don't like how much time it takes, frankly. How much, it's fine. Like, in concept, I think that there's a lot of good things about it, actually. A lot of people like it. That's fine. I don't personally love it. But this isn't me complaining about Conquest. It's complaining about the time sink of the first week of Conquest combining with the time sink of light side territory battles. They're both happening at the same time, and CG's not telling us why. They're just like, hey, you want to prepare yourselves for that. Like that's gonna be something you want to okay, great. So they told us a little bit in advance. That's fine. And they've got this title update that's gonna come. We don't know anything about what's going on though in the game. Like, there's nothing. Like, maybe I'll get undermined in this video. Maybe later today. Hopefully, I hope they come out with some kind of road ahead thing, and we can all just like move on. Maybe suddenly we'll have good communication from CG again, though, I mean, frankly, communication's never been their forte. They've never been great at it. I feel like lately we're living in complete darkness, though. And whereas I think that the community is being a little overreactive to a lot of different things that CG is doing, there are things it's like, well, okay, let's wait and see. We don't have enough information. Let's wait. And I think, people have called me a CG, a shill or a CG apologist. And frankly, I mean, I think it's being reasonable is what I like. It's like, we don't have the information. Let's, instead of just speculating and being outraged by what they're doing, maybe we should just wait and see and then be outraged when the time comes. Like, plenty of time to be mad. Like, we can transition. All of us can transition real fast if we want to. So, I'm not really concerned about, people want to accuse me of this. It's just because they don't agree with me. That's fine. I will say this though. Despite the fact that I don't think we need to be outraged by all these things that CG's doing right now, maybe we should be. I do think we should all note that the communication has been awful. Just complete crap. Just not really that acceptable, frankly. I mean, sure, I get it. Like, the community manager is off on paternity leave. We have some random guy here from a different game who, like, okay, cool. Like, that's fine. Let's understand it. But you are a multi-billion-dollar company at this point. Like, you've made a lot of money, and the players, like, what do we even know about what's coming out in this game right now? Like, we have, like, Grand Inquisitor later this month. What else? Nothing. We got nothing. Like, we know about Darth Malgus. We're working on him. So that's kind of, but otherwise, we have this huge leak, this enormous leak of datacrons. And, I mean, it's looking like we're going to have datacrons coming out in a couple weeks. Is what it looks like. That's going to be the big title update, because people have been saying, like, oh, maybe it's this new event, whatever it's called, the one where you earn cat shards and, but that's already out. That's already here. They did a terrible job of communicating that, by the way. A lot of people angry, where the anger could have been headed off just by a simple like, hey, it's gonna be 4 million GP to even participate. Like all they have to do, say that. People won't necessarily love it, but at least they set expectations, right? And they didn't. People are just like, oh yes, I'm gonna get me some cat shards, or at least I'm gonna try. And CG's like, actually, your 800K too small, so go F yourselves. And and so of course people are gonna be frustrated. They've been excited about this. They're gonna unlock this character that everyone wants, and now they don't get it. And I could have done better with that. I think the bigger than anything, though, guys. So they're not telling us about the Conquest Switch, and that's frustrating enough because it seems tone deaf on their end, because it's the two busiest events right next to each other, and we were like, oh hey, they listened to us, and then they're like, actually we didn't listen to you, go screw yourselves. Like there's that, and that feels frustrating in the moment. I think the biggest one, though, guys, is if Datacrons are actually coming in this big title update, which I don't know what else it could be. They're not going to do a whole title update just for the Grand Inquisitor. Oh, I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. If it's Datacrons, that's going to fundamentally shift how GAC works. And GAC, I know a lot of people don't love it. Other people, like, there's a huge community of people who love GAC. I mean, my channel exists because people love GAC. Like, if no one loved it, no one watched my stuff. Like, that's simple enough. But if they're gonna change something to have a seasonal meta, which I think could potentially be really strong, why aren't they telling us anything at all about it? There's been no official record other than them calling up the guy in panic, apparently. Like, they had Crumb come out of paternity leave to say, hey, there was a leak, and we'll tell you guys more later. It wasn't even punctuated, and that was it. Like, that alone is like, well, what kind of communication's going on here? Like, but can we get any word at all? Can we get any information about this game-changing update that's going to be here soon? Like, it's going to be a big deal, and we know nothing. We're like Jon Snow. We don't know anything about Datacrons. Not definitively. We know, in theory, what some of these things are going to do, but like, there's just nothing. We don't know anything about what's going to be coming out. Nothing about the future. We know nothing about it. And it just feels a little frustrating, guys. That's all. Like, CG could do a better job. Like, so if you search Meathead's forum posts, you see, he'll talk on the forum some. He'll talk about how many credits does your account have? He's like, I have 375 million. It's like, okay, cool. So you don't care about being competitive in this game because you're not buying mods in the mod store. Got it. Thank you for communicating that you're not competitive, but is that communication? I would say that's interaction. Like, cool. That's fun. Like, how am I going to trust a guy anyways who he clearly doesn't care about competitive play? How am I going to trust him to represent me? He's a community manager. He's supposed to be representing things from the community. How am I supposed to think he's representing me when he clearly doesn't care about, mods? Like, 375 million credits. That's no slam on people who have that many. But I don't think you can make the argument to me that you really care a ton about modding, and therefore you don't care a ton about competitive play if you have that many credits. Like, to me, that's just like, okay, so you're non-competitive. That's fine. You don't have to be. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling here. I'm out of breath because I'm out of shape, guys. But it's hard to walk and talk and hold a phone. But I probably should leave it here. I just feel so frustrated. Like, can you please let us know what the hell is going on in your game? What are you doing to make the game more awesome? Like, cool, you're working on Lord of the Rings, that's fine. You're making millions of dollars every month from this Star Wars game. And the people who are giving you all this money have no idea what the future holds at all. We have none. We don't know if a GL is coming. We don't know if we're going to get another Legendary soon. We don't know if we're going to be working on Old Republic stuff. We don't know if we're going to work on, I don't know. I've heard some interesting rumors about Scoundrels lately. Like, we don't know. And that's not enough to get pitchforks out necessarily, but CG can do better. And they should. And I don't think we should get mad about other things that are potentially bad. We'll wait to rage on Datacrons until we actually see how their impact is. But I'm just mad that if we have a title update coming in a couple weeks, it's going to, we're on our last 3 fights of this GAC season. Is this the last time will we get to play without Datacrons affecting things? I have no idea. No clue. CG knows. They don't want to tell us. They don't want to tell us anything. Feels frustrating, guys. Alright, I'm going to let you go. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good 1, guys. Not a good 2. I don't have the energy to wish you a good 2, but a good 1. Thank you all for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails. Unless it's CG trying to communicate with him, in which case he doesn't prevail. He's kind of just fed up. Take care, guys.